Good morning, dear Prep 1 students. I miss you all and welcome to our YouTube channel and with my first video for you from المستقبل English School English Department. Here, Mrs. Summer Helmi, and I am presenting to Prep 1 students Close Up B1 and Unit 9 High Technology Word. Do you remember this book? Okay, now we have already studied the first part, the vocabulary part in the school, and now let's move to the grammar part. First of all, I want to say that I miss you, all of you. I know it's hard time. I know you are tired living in your home and staying home, but please stay home and stay safe. I know it's a hard time, but it will all pass away and everything will be better, I promise. Okay, now let's start our lesson. Okay, the passive voice tenses. Okay, do you know how to use the passive voice to change the focus of a sentence? Okay, here we have a picture. Someone, I don't know who is him, is doing or is cooking omelette. Okay, here in this photo, can you see that we don't know who is cooking? Or we can see only omelette is being done and we don't know who is the doer? Okay, now we use the passive voice to change the focus of the sentence. Now, we are focusing on the omelette itself. We don't focus on who is making it. I don't care who is making this, but I'm focusing on the action itself or the omelette itself. Okay, so we use the passive voice to change the focus of the sentence. The first sentence here, I have an omelette is being cooked. So the focus here is on the omelette. But in the second sentence, we have someone is making an omelette. So in the active one, we have the focus here on somebody. I don't know who somebody is, but the focus here is on somebody. But in the first sentence, I focused on the omelette. So in the first sentence, I care or I'm focused on the omelette, but in the second one I care about this somebody. I don't care about the omelette. So in the passive voice, I care or I emphasize or something is more important than the subject itself. The action itself or the object is more important. That's why here we have the passive voice. Okay, look at these examples to see how the passive voice is used. Now, here we have a lot of olive oil is produced in Italy. So, I'm focused here about the olive oil. So, here a lot of olive oil is produced in Italy. I don't care who is producing it. I don't care, but I am emphasizing or I am listing the most important thing is the olive oil is produced, but I don't care who is producing it. Okay, sentence number 2. The hall is being painted this week. So I don't care who is painting it, but I care about the hall, the place or I'm living in is being painted. So I'm focusing on the action itself, that my hall is being painted. I don't care who is painting it. The third sentence here, this book was written by Angela Davis. So here, this book was written by Angela Davis. So the focus here is about the book, not the writer. Although it is mentioned here, but the focus here is about this book. So in the same sentence, if I said that Angela Davis wrote this book, so the focus here is on Angela Davis, but here in this sentence, this book was written by Angela Davis. The focus here is on the word this book. Okay. Number 4, the signs were being put up last week. So I don't care who put it up, but the focus here is about the signs. Okay, this product has not been tested on animals, so the focus here is about the product, not on who tested it on animals. Okay, when he got home, he found that his flat had been burgled. So the focus here is about the flat, not about the thieves who burgled this flat. The suspect will be released tomorrow. So the focus here is on the suspect, not on who released them, who is the authority who released the suspect, but the focus here is on the suspect. Okay, so here we can recognize, or we can tell, that the passive voice here is used to emphasize a part of a sentence, which is not emphasized in the active one. Let's see how we can make a passive voice out of an active one. We change an active sentence into a passive one in the following steps. First, the object of the verb in the active sentence becomes the subject of the verb in the passive one. The verb be is used in the tense of the main verb in the active sentence together with the past participle of the main verb in the active sentence. Oh, a lot of words. I don't get a word. Okay, I will make it easy. Let's see the schedule. We have the tense here and how it looks in the active sentence and how it will look in the passive one. Here in the present simple, here I have take and takes in the active sentence, but in the passive one, here I have the verb be is in the present simple, and I put the verb which is the main verb in the active sentence. I put the past participle form of it after verb to be. Here in the present continuous I have am, are, and is taking. Here I have the verb be and the verb plus ing in the active sentence. In the passive one I put the verb be and the verb be, which is used in the tense of the main verb in the active sentence. Here I put be instead of take, so I put am or are or is being. Then I put the main verb here, I take it and I put it in the past participle form after the verb be, and so on. In the past simple, here we have took, and the passive will be was, were, taken. Again, the past continuous was or were taken, was, were, being taken. Present perfect simple, we have or has taken. In the passive voice we use have or has been taken. Past perfect simple, we have had taken, and in the passive voice we use had been taken. Future simple, we have will take, and in the passive voice we use will be taking. We have three tenses that don't have passive form. We have three tenses that don't have passive form. They are the present perfect continuous and the past perfect continuous and the simple future continuous. Again, we have three tenses that doesn't take passive form. We have the present perfect continuous and the past perfect continuous and the future perfect Again, I said that we have three tenses that doesn't take or doesn't go in the passive form. We have the present perfect continuous and the past perfect continuous and the future perfect continuous. Those three tenses doesn't have or don't have passive form. Okay, let's see. Look at these examples to see. Okay, we moved through this and we read this. Okay, now be careful. When we want to change a sentence with two objects into the passive voice, one becomes the subject of the passive sentence, as we said in the last one, that the object of the verb in the active sentence becomes the subject of the verb in the passive one. So when we have when we have a sentence with two objects in the passive into the passive voice, one becomes the new subject or the subject of the passive sentence, and the other one remains an object. But if the personal object remains an object in the passive sentence, then we have to use a suitable preposition, to or for or anything else before it. Okay, for example, we have the active sentence here. We have she bought me a present yesterday. So the verb bought has here two objects, me and a present. Those are two objects. Okay, if I took the second one here as a new subject in the passive sentence, so I will start with a present, and both here is in the past simple. So I will take the verb be and put it in the tense of the main verb, which will be was, according to a present, and I will put the past participle of the main verb here after the verb be. So the sentence will be a present was bought. Okay, here as the personal object remains an object in the passive sentence, I will put the preposition for before the personal object, and I will put yesterday. That's the first note. And the second one will be that sometimes we need to mention the agent, like the book was written by Angela Davis. Who or what is responsible for the action? In the passive sentence, we use the word by before the agent to do this. Hannah cooked our dinner. So if I put this sentence in the passive voice, I will take the object here to be the new subject, our dinner, and cooked is in the past simple, so I will take the verb be in the past simple, which will be was, and cooked I will take the past participle form of it and put it after the verb be. So it will be our dinner was cooked, and if I wanna put the doer of the verb or the agent, I will put by before it. So the sentence will be our dinner was cooked by Hannah. Okay, this was the second note, and the third one will be sometimes we want to mention a tool or material in the passive sentence. Okay, like an agent, but it will be a tool or a material. And for tools and materials, we use the word with to do it. The bread was sliced with a knife. Okay, be careful of these notes, so you will use it soon. Okay, here we have the passive voice with gerunds and infinitives and modals. Gerunds are the verbs plus ing. Infinitives, we have full infinitive, which is to, and the pair infinitive, and we have infinitive, the pair infinitive, which is the pair form of the verb, and we have the modals. Okay, to change it into the passive as we used to do, we put the verb be in as a main verb, like I mean in the tense of the main verb, and then I put the main verb I put the past participle of the main verb after the verb be. So with the models, here we have the main verb after the models. Here, like in the active sentence, I have can, take, and in the passive one I will use the verb be after the model, and then I will take the past participle form of the verb here, or of the main verb here, and put it after verb to be. Here we have the gerund here is taking, and instead of taking I will put being, then the past participle form of the verb take, which will be taken. The bare infinitive, here we have take. I will take the verb be instead of take, then I will put the past participle of the verb take. Full infinitive, I use to and the main verb, which is take. I will put here in the passive sentence, I will put to and the verb be instead of take, and then I will put the past participle form of the verb take. For example, we have in the active sentence, you should study your lessons repeatedly. So here in the active sentence I have the object here, your lessons. So I will take this object and put it as a new subject in the passive form. So the sentence will start with your lessons. Then I will put the verb or the model should. Then I will put the verb be instead of study, which is the infinitive. And then I will put the main verb here. I will take the past participle form of it and put it after verb to be. So the sentence will be your lessons should be studied repeatedly. Another example here we have, I remember Hannah giving me a digital camera. So the sentence will be, I remember being given a digital camera. So I took the I saw the tense here is the gerund. Here the main verb here is in gerund form, so I will put the verb be in the gerund form and then put the past participle tense or the past participle form of the main verb, which will be given. Okay, now let's move to your student's book, page 113. Look at this sentence and notice the verb in bold. Then answer the questions below. They use, here is the verb in bold. They use cameras in shops to help prevent crime. Okay, number 1, is the verb in the active or the passive voice? What do you think? Here we have the verb use in the active form or in the passive form. As we used to see in the last two schedules, we saw that the main verb was the past participle form or was in the past participle form. So, do you think the verb use here is in the passive or in the active sentence? Okay. What tense is the verb in? The verb use here in which tense? In which tense? Okay, number 3, what is the subject of the verb? What is the object of the verb? Okay, you have 5 seconds to think and think carefully before you answer. Yes, great, Kareem. You can raise one finger as we used to do in Mustaqbal Language School. Yeah, the verb here is in the active voice. Okay, who will answer number 2? Yes, Martina. What tense is the verb in? Yeah, it's in the present simple. I know that all of you know the answers, and I can feel that you're so great. question number 3. What is the subject of the verb? Yes, Veronia? Yeah, it's the word they, the pronoun they. What is the object of the verb? Who can tell? Yes, Adam. Raise one finger, please, as we used to do in our school, Mustaqbal English School. Oh, I missed it. Previous. The word cameras is the object of the verb. So they use cameras. Here we have the subject, and here we have the verb in the present simple tense, and cameras here is the object. Okay, let's go to B. The sentence in A can also be written in the passive voice. So this sentence is in the passive voice. Look at the verb in bold and answer the questions below. Cameras are used in shops to help prevent crime. Number 1, what is the subject of the passive verb? Number 2, what tense is the verb be in? What form of the verb use appears? Okay, now take 5 seconds to think before you answer, and just raise one finger to answer as we used to do in Mustaqbal English School. Okay, number 1. Yes, Ahmed. Yes, the word cameras is the subject of the passive verb. And what tense is the verb be in? Yes, Kenzie? Yeah, the present simple tense. I know you all know the form of the verb used here appears in the past participle form. Okay, because it is a passive voice. Okay, let's move to C. Now complete the rules. We use the passive voice when we want to emphasize the action or event, or when we don't know the agent, the person or thing who did the action. We form the passive voice by using the auxiliary verb. Which auxiliary verb we use it in the passive voice? Yeah, great. The verb be in the correct tense and the past participle of the main verb. The of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive sentence. Yeah, great, Nagat. Yes, perfect. The object of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive sentence. Okay, look at the use of by and with in these sentences and then answer the questions below. The laboratory was filled with smoke. The new worker will be shown around the factory by the manager. The computer has been cleaned with a special brush. Which word do we use when we want to mention the agent? Yeah, I said it before, I know. Great, you can answer, Muhammad. Yes, the word by. Okay, great. Which word do we use when we want to mention the tool or material that is used? Yeah, great, Fathi. Yes, with. It's the word with. Okay, let's move to the second one. Okay, letter E. Complete the sentences with the correct passive form of the verbs in brackets. Okay, now we will check the keywords that show us the tense of the sentence to put the verb be in the correct tense. Here we have my computer. We have the main verb here, check. For viruses, twice a day. It's very practical. Okay, here we have twice a day, so it's, yeah, you have time to think as we used to do in our school, Mustaqbal. Yes, it's the present simple tense, so I will put the verb be in the present simple tense, which will be is with my computer, and I will put the past participle form of the main verb. So my computer is checked. Okay, the food delivered to the house by lunchtime. So it's in the future. Yeah, so the sentence or the question will be in the future simple tense. So I will put the verb be in the future, which will be, and the main verb here in the past participle form. Great. Yes, will the food be delivered to the house by lunchtime? Okay. The USB stick not need yet. So I put this sentence in the present simple tense. So not need will be not. Yeah, the present simple tense will be yes, great Ahmed. Yes, it will be isn't, and need we will take the past participle form of it. So the USB stick is not needed yet. Her tablet still last week. So last week is yeah, great Malak. Yes, last week is a past simple tense. So we will put the verb be in the past simple tense. Her tablet will take was or were. Yeah, it will take was. Yes, great. And steal will be in the past participle form, which will be yeah, stolen. Yes, great. Her tablet was stolen last week. While the song download, I was watching a film online. So after while we'll take the past continuous. So the past continuous will be yeah, was a verb plus the verb plus ing, and the verb here will be be. Yes, the verb be. So while the songs were okay, while the song was being downloaded, I was watching a film online. So with the word song only, I will put was. The young children are being taught how to log in at the moment. So at the moment is a present continuous tense, and I will put are and the verb plus ing. So I will put the verb be and ing, and the main verb here is in the past participle form. It was noon and all the emails already sent, and this is the past perfect. So I will use had already been sent. The new CCTV camera installed next week. This means that in the future simple. So I will use will be installed. Okay, you were all great. I know you all know the answers. Now let's complete the second sentences with the passive voice. Manufacturers are developing a new type of mobile phones. A new type of mobile phone. Manufacturers. So are developed will be yeah, is yes, and instead of develop I put the verb be. Yeah, so with a new type I will use the verb is and then being and then developed. And because we have manufacturers here, so I will use the word by because it is the agent. Technology has changed our lives dramatically. Our lives, instead of has, I will put have and then been and then changed dramatically by technology. The scientists sent the lab some blood samples. So some blood samples were sent to the lab by the scientists. Okay, NASA will have designed a new robot for space exploration by 2035. So a new robot for space exploration will have been designed by NASA by 2035. We will give Maria instructions on what to do. Maria Yes, Maria will, and instead of give I will put be, and give I will take the past participle form of the verb give, and it will be given, so will be given instructions on what to do. What will science ever answer people's questions about the universe? Okay, will people's questions about the universe, ever? Yeah, instead of answer I would put be, and answer I would put the past participle form of it, which will be answered, so ever be answered. Ever be answered by science. Now, did you focus on our lesson? Okay, can you tell me which tenses don't have passive form? I didn't write it, but I said it. Okay, I will be waiting for your answers with sentences in these tenses. Okay, plus I will wait for your homework, pages 54 and 55 in your workbook. Answer it, take a photo and send it to me. Okay, how will you send it to me? Yeah, we will communicate together via our school page on Facebook or my own profile on Facebook, or you can send me on my WhatsApp number, and I guess all of you know it, and you can send it to me via Class Dojo app. And don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel to see all our new videos. And I miss you again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And please stay safe and please stay home. I will be waiting for all your homework to put your names on our next videos. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.